So, you just pulled Evelyn, and the move list looks like a mess of tethers, ambers, and bindings. It seems so complicated. But what if I told you she's one of the strongest and simplest attackers in the game once you understand her? This guide cuts through the noise to a better understanding of Evelyn and her gimmick. Let's boil her entire strategy down to a single loop. Your goal is to do 3 things. Build embers, spend them on tether point, spend them to get tether points, and cash in those tether points for a massive damage chain attack. That's it. Anything else just makes that process faster and hit harder. Her playstyle is about spamming her chain attack as often as possible, and unlike most characters, I say most, but I mean all, for now I guess, she can do it without needing the enemy to be stunned. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out! Right. This unique skill is what makes her so powerful. So, forget the confusing terms and remember this. Build embers, get tether points, and unleash the chains. 3-step, rinse and repeat. Cool. Now, let's cover the tools Evelyn uses to get the job done. Her basic attack. Let's start there. Now, this is one of the few characters whose basic attacks are not useless, so bear with me. So, her basic attack is a 5-hit combo. The first 3 are physical damage, but the last 2 deal some fire damage. So, with that in mind, the 5th hit, this is what I want you to remember going forward. The fifth hit applies a rope, which is called her binding state. Right. If we want to use fancy terminology, that's what we'll say. So, just know that it applies a rope. The single most important status you need to maintain is her binding state, aka the rope, right? Now here's the reason why. The reason is this. While an enemy is marked with a rope, Evelyn's crit rate skyrockets by 25%, subject to effing her. By effing her, I mean core F, right? If you do anything less than core F, then you won't get the full 25%, but just know that at some point when you do core F her, you will get a crit rate of 25% on top of the base crit rate that you enter battle with, right? So if you enter battle with like 60 crit rate, bada boom bada bang, you do your binding state, all of a sudden you're 85%, right?
Boom, quick maths.
Yeah, sounds good, I know. Now, what you need to know about a kit is that you need to have at least 80% crit rate, right? In order to get more damage from an additional ability. Keep that in mind. That's the thing that you want to play and aim for whenever, before you do a chain attack or most of your damage. In fact, before you do most of your damage, you want to have that rope there to get that 25 so that you at least are at 80% and above, so that you can get more damage from an additional ability. Keep that in mind. Cool. So, a thing that you need to know about this buff is that it lasts for 10 seconds even after the mark breaks. In other words, if you somehow, by mistake, it will happen a lot, believe me, detonate that rope, you still have 10 seconds of that 25% buff. Right. Yeah. And it sounds too good to be true, but it is. It is too good not to be true. It is true. Let me just get that out of the way. But continuing where I left off, you can apply the rope or her binding seal state with a 5th basic attack, her dodge counter, or her special attack. Right? Sounds like so many options to apply it. Yeah. And believe me when I tell you this, you'll want that rope wrapped around your little enemy every single second of the match. Not every single second, but for the most part of the match, let me rather say. Cool. And then as Evelyn attacks, she builds up to 16 embers, right? Think of those 16 embers as her battery. Once the gauge is at least half full, hold the basic attack button to perform an advanced basic that will convert 8 embers into a single tether point. And then with each advanced basic attack, you get a tether point. So in essence, you have 16 embers, you hold your basic attack, you consume 50% of those, you're left with another 50%, but you got 1 point for that, 1 tether point. You do it again, you get 2. So with a full bar, you get 2 tether points. Simple maths, right? But you need 3 in order to do a chain attack. At some point in this video, getting 2 will be enough to guarantee a chain attack, but more on that later. Right. So remember the gimmick, get 3 tether points, you get a chain attack. Simple. Cool. So once you have all 3, your next hold basic attack will consume all of the tether points, and surprise surprise, you have your chain attack. Right.
These nuts.
Moving on, if you have a full bar, hold the attack button twice as long. That's the quickest way to maintain having 2. And then moving on, you have her EX special and her ultimate. Her EX special is a quick damage burst. Her ult deals insane damage and grants a tether point. More importantly, the first time you use her ult in a fight, she enters an awakened state for the rest of the battle. So once you see her throwing off her jacket, just know that you've unlocked God tier mode. Now, the benefits of that state is that it allows you to, whenever you use all 3 of your tether points, you are guaranteed to have 1 more tether point. Now, in her awakened state, you keep 1 tether point after using a chain attack, which seriously helps speed up your damage loop, which is what you want with Evelyn. Now, to make Evelyn pop, you need the right gear. Her best W engine is a signature weapon, Heartstring Nocturne, which I spent countless nights trying to get, and I actually did get it, so I'm happy about that. Probably have a video somewhere of me actually getting that and my reaction and all that, but that's for a separate video. Coming back to this one, what you need to know, it provides crit rate and a flat 50% crit damage bonus, and lets her strong attacks ignore some of the enemy's fire resistance. Heard that right. Not only do you get 50% crit damage, 24% crit rate, you also get to ignore some of the fire resistance from enemies. Yeah. But you don't really need her signature weapon in order to do some good tiering and endgame content, just so you know. If you don't have it, you can use the Brimstone and Riot Suppressor Mark 4, right? VI, that's 6. Both of which are solid S-rank alternatives, while Mercado Desire and Cannon Rotor, I wouldn't recommend Cannon Rotor. If you are at a loss for options, like I said, Cannon Rotor and Mercado Desire are awesome A-rank picks. For her discs, you don't have a disc drive set that's specially dedicated to her, but I'll want to give you like the general stat guide for when you're building her. Right? So your goal is getting 80% crit rate in combat, not outside of combat. So if you go to the combat field with 60% before the match starts, and remember you have that 25 that you'll get if you F her, then you're already at 85. That's in combat. So that takes a nice box for you to still meet the criteria for her additional ability. If your weapon has crit rate, use the 4-piece woodpecker electro set. And then for your 2-piece, use Inferno Metal for some fire damage, or Branching Blade, which is what I personally use, for more crit damage. Since I have a sick, I don't have to worry that much about crit rate. I'm just trying to get the crit damage up there. You get where this is going. But moving on, for her team building, Evelyn is a hyper carry who wants to be on-field dealing damage constantly. Her best teams are stun characters and a support character. Her dream team is Evelyn, Lighter, and Astra. I think all of us know this by now. If you don't, well, now you know. Lighter extends the enemy's stun duration and shreds fire resistance, while Astra provides a huge attack buff and healing. That's like a side thing. Main thing, attack buff. That's what you need. For a top tier alternative, a double support team like Evelyn, Caesar, and Astra works wonders. A fantastic friendly to play, F2P friendly option is Evelyn, Anby, and Nicole, using Anby for stun and Nicole for her valuable defense shred. Right. The golden rule is simple. Save your resources for the stun window. Don't use your chain attack the second you get 3 tether points. Right. And I'm sure you must be thinking, what happens if I'm not in the stun window, whatever. I mean, it makes sense to use some of your resources, but keep in mind that for the stun window, you should have all of your resources lined up to deal the most damage, right? The real goal is to have 3 tether points, a full amber bar, and your ult ready before your stun character breaks the enemy. Outside of the stun, focus on building resources. Use your EX special to apply a binding state, then cancel into a basic attack combo to build embers. By the way, that's one of the faster ways to build up embers. From there, use your advanced basic to convert those embers into tether points. Rinse and repeat until you have 3 tether points and full resources. Once the enemy is stunned, it's go time. Here's the sequence. Swap to Evelyn to trigger the standard stun-induced chain attack. During this animation, hold your basic attack button. This cues your second chain attack to spend your 3 safe tether points. Immediately after, use your ult. This deals massive damage and instantly gives you back at least 1 tether point due to her awakened state. Finally, you can often use the regained meter to perform another advanced basic combo for a 3rd chain attack, all within a stun window. You get me? Of course, with optimization of her rotations and stunning and all that, you can get more than 3 chain attacks in a single stun window. I want to give you the basics so that you know what to look for whenever you're entering a stun window and what to have and how to use her. Right? I'm not here to give you all of the fancy combos and optimizations so that you get more than 3 chain attack in one stun window. No, I'm just here to tell you this is what you need to do, this is what you can focus on to get in a stun window actually. Then from there, it's all up to you how you optimize stuff to get more than 3. You can go watch other videos on YouTube to see like 4, 5, or 6 more chain attacks in a single stun window. That's not me. That confuses the living shit out of me. But getting sidetracked here. Coming back to the script. So, mastering this ability to chain your attacks allows Evelyn to output a staggering amount of burst damage in seconds. And that's it. Evelyn's kit seems intimidating, but it's a simple cycle. Build embers to get tether points for her killer chain attacks. She is a top-tier damage dealer who rewards smart resource management with some of the most satisfying combos in the game. She's strong, stylish, and now, hopefully, not so complicated. So, are you pulling for Evelyn? If you have her, what teams are you using? Let me know in the comments below. And thank you for tuning in. Hopefully this made a great difference and sways you to getting Evelyn for your teams. Until then, thank you for tuning in.